¿Quieres mejorar tu inglés mientras descubres una historia real que parece sacada de una película? Hoy vas a aprender inglés con la increíble vida de Simón Bolívar, un joven que juró liberar a todo un continente. A lo largo de esta clase vas a escuchar frases en inglés, entender su significado en español y repetirlas, para mejorar tu pronunciación, tu vocabulario y tu comprensión. Esta no es una clase cualquiera, es una historia que te va a inspirar y al mismo tiempo te va a enseñar inglés como nunca antes. Empecemos.
Simón was born in Venezuela in 1783. Simón nació en Venezuela en 1783. Simón was born in Venezuela in 1783. His family was rich, but he lost his parents when he was young. Su familia era rica, pero perdió a sus padres cuando era joven. His family was rich, but he lost his parents when he was young. He grew up with uncles, tutors, and servants. Creció con tíos, tutores y sirvientes. He grew up with uncles, tutors, and servants. One teacher changed everything. His name was Simón Rodríguez. Un maestro lo cambió todo. Su nombre era Simón Rodríguez. One teacher changed everything. His name was Simón Rodríguez. He didn't just teach math or grammar. He taught ideas. No enseñaba solo matemáticas o gramática. Enseñaba ideas. He didn't just teach math or grammar. He taught ideas. Freedom matters more than gold, he would say. La libertad importa más que el oro, solía decir. Freedom matters more than gold, he would say. You were born to help others, he told Simón. Has nacido para ayudar a los demás, le decía Simón. You were born to help others, he told Simón. Simón listened carefully. His heart started to burn. Simón escuchaba con atención. Su corazón empezó a arder. Simón listened carefully. His heart started to burn. He began asking questions. He began to dream. Empezó a hacer preguntas. Empezó a soñar. He began asking questions. He began to dream. When he was a teenager, he traveled to Spain. Cuando era adolescente, viajó a España. When he was a teenager, he traveled to Spain. There he studied, explored, and fell in love. Allí estudió, exploró y se enamoró. There he studied, explored, and fell in love. But it didn't last. His wife died young. Pero no duró. Su esposa murió joven. But it didn't last. His wife died young. Heartbroken, Simón went to France. Con el corazón roto, Simón fue a Francia. Heartbroken, Simón went to France. There, he saw Napoleon become emperor. Allí vio cómo Napoleón se convertía en emperador. There, he saw Napoleon become emperor. The French loved liberty, but also had a king again. Los franceses amaban la libertad, pero también tenían un rey otra vez. The French loved liberty, but also had a king again. Simón was confused and angry. Simón estaba confundido y enojado. Simón was confused and angry. One day, while standing on a mountain in Rome. Un día mientras estaba en una montaña en Roma. One day, while standing on a mountain in Rome. He looked at the land and made a promise. Miró la tierra e hizo una promesa. He looked at the land and made a promise. I will not rest until my land is free. No descansaré hasta que mi tierra sea libre. I will not rest until my land is free. That moment changed him. Ese momento lo cambió. That moment changed him. He was no longer just a rich young man. Ya no era solo un joven rico. He was no longer just a rich young man. He was now a man with a mission. Ahora era un hombre con una misión. He was now a man with a mission. A man ready to fight for freedom. Un hombre listo para luchar por la libertad. A man ready to fight for freedom. Simón Bolívar returned to Venezuela in 1807. Simón Bolívar regresó a Venezuela en 1807. Simón Bolívar retourne de Venezuela in 1807. But the country was not the same. Pero el país no era el mismo. But the country was not the same. People were angry. La gente estaba enojada. People were angry. They were tired of Spanish rule. Estaban cansados del dominio español. They were tired of Spanish rule. Taxes were high, food was low. Los impuestos eran altos, la comida era escasa. Taxes were high, food was low. The Spanish treated the people like slaves. Los españoles trataban al pueblo como esclavos. The Spanish treated the people like slaves. Bolívar saw the pain in their eyes. Bolívar vio el dolor en sus ojos. Bolívar saw the pain in their eyes. And he remembered his promise. Y recordó su promesa. And he remembered his promise. It's time, he said. We must fight. Es hora, dijo. Debemos luchar. It's time, he said. We must fight. In 1810, the people made their first move. En 1810, el pueblo dio su primer paso. In 1810, the people made their first move. They removed the Spanish governor. Destituyeron al gobernador español. They removed the Spanish governor. Venezuela declared independence. Venezuela declaró su independencia. Venezuela declared independence. But Spain didn't accept it. Pero España no la aceptó. But Spain didn't accept it. The war had begun. La guerra había comenzado. The war had begun. Bolívar gave speeches in the streets. Bolívar daba discursos en las calles. Bolívar gave speeches in the streets. He rode on horseback through towns and mountains. Cabalgaba por pueblos y montañas. He rode on horseback through towns and mountains. He shouted, "Freedom or death!" Gritaba, "Libertad o muerte!" He shouted, "Freedom or death!" Some people laughed at him. Algunas personas se reían de él. Some people laughed at him. Others joined him. Otras se unieron a él. Others joined him. He had no army. No tenía ejército. He had no army. But he had passion. Pero tenía pasión. But he had passion. And passion attracts people. Y la pasión atrae a las personas. And passion attracts people. Soon, Bolívar had followers. Pronto, Bolívar tenía seguidores. Soon, Bolívar had followers. Farmers, students, former slaves. Campesinos, estudiantes, antiguos esclavos. Farmers, students, former slaves. They believed in his dream. Creían en su sueño. They believed in his dream. They called him El Libertador. Lo llamaban el Libertador. They called him El Libertador. The battles were hard. Las batallas eran difíciles. The battles were hard. They lost many friends. Perdieron muchos amigos. They lost many friends. Sometimes they had no food or guns. A veces no tenían comida ni armas. Sometimes they had no food or guns. But Bolívar never gave up. Bolívar nunca se rindió. But Bolívar never gave up. We are not fighting for land, he said. No estamos luchando por tierras, dijo. We're not fighting for land, he said. We are fighting for the future. Estamos luchando por el futuro. We are fighting for the future. And slowly, town by town, city by city, they pushed the Spanish back. They pushed the Spanish back. The war in Venezuela was just the beginning. La guerra en Venezuela fue solo el comienzo. The war in Venezuela was just the beginning. Bolívar had a bigger dream. Bolívar tenía un sueño más grande. Bolívar had a bigger dream. He didn't want freedom only for one country. No quería la libertad solo para un país. He didn't want freedom only for one country. He wanted it for all of South America. La quería para toda Sudamérica. He wanted it for all of South America. We are one people, he said. Somos un solo pueblo, dijo él. We are one people, he said. We must stand together or fall alone. Debemos estar unidos o caeremos solos. We must stand together or fall alone. He crossed mountains with his army. Cruzó montañas con su ejército. He crossed mountains with his army. He rode through rivers and jungles. Cabalgó por ríos y selvas. He rode through rivers and jungles. He fought in Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. Luchó en Colombia, Ecuador, Perú y Bolivia. He fought in Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. Everywhere he went, people followed him. Donde quiera que iba, la gente lo seguía. Everywhere he went, people followed him. They believed in freedom. Creían en la libertad. They believed in freedom. They believed in him. Creían en él. They believed in him. In 1819, he created a new country, Gran Colombia. En 1819, creó un nuevo país, la Gran Colombia. In 1819, he created a new country, Gran Colombia. It was a union of several nations. Era una unión de varias naciones. It was a union of several nations. People cheered, flags flew high. La gente aclamaba, las banderas ondeaban alto. People cheered, flags flew high. And Bolívar stood tall, proud and tired. Y Bolívar se mantenía firme, orgulloso y cansado. and Bolívar stood tall, proud, and tired. But victory is never easy. Pero la victoria nunca es fácil. But victory is never easy. After the wars came politics. Después de las guerras vinieron los conflictos políticos. After the wars came politics. Some leaders wanted power for themselves. Algunos líderes querían el poder para ellos mismos. Some leaders wanted power for themselves. They didn't want unity. They wanted control. No querían unidad, querían control. They didn't want unity. They wanted control. Bolívar became president, but he was not happy. Bolívar se convirtió en presidente, pero no estaba feliz. Bolívar became president, but he was not happy. This is not the dream I had, he said. Este no es el sueño que yo tenía, dijo. This is not the dream I had, he said. He was sick, exhausted, and alone. Estaba enfermo, agotado y solo. He was sick, exhausted, and alone. In 1830, Bolívar resigned. En 1830, Bolívar renunció. In 1830, Bolívar resigned. He left the government and disappeared from power. Dejó el gobierno y desapareció del poder. He left the government and disappeared from power. That same year, he died, just 47 years old. Ese mismo año murió, con solo 47 años. That same year, he died, just 47 years old. But his dream didn't die. Pero su sueño no murió. But his dream didn't die. Today, many countries are free because of him. Hoy, muchos países son libres gracias a él. Today, many countries are free because of him. Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Perú, Bolivia. Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Perú, Bolivia. Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia. They remember the man who gave everything. Recuerdan al hombre que lo dio todo. They remember the man who gave everything. His money, his strength, his life. Su dinero, su fuerza, su vida. His money, his strength, his life. For one word, liberty. Por una palabra, libertad. For one word, liberty. And the world remembers him as El Libertador. Y el mundo lo recuerda como el Libertador. And the world remembers him as El Libertador. The boy who made a promise on a mountain. El niño que hizo una promesa en una montaña. The boy who made a promise on a mountain. And changed history forever. Y cambió la historia para siempre. And changed history forever.